All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Riders Talking. And I've been looking forward to this one as well. So, as many of you know, there's a lot of folks in the crowd-funded world of comics that simply won't back anymore because of, well, various reasons. We won't go into that. But this gentleman, as soon as I see something of his crop up, I'll back it without question because I am a fan of his work. And he's one of the few people out there who will get my money instantly. And he is, at the time of this stream anyway, responsible for my favorite crowdfunded book to this date. He is the writer and creator of Monster MD, of Terror in the Trenches, and the award-winning Kitaru Witch Hunter. It is Mr. Von Klaus. How you doing, Von? A bit of a delay there.
That intro made me feel all good about my side. Oh, thank you. You were excellent at that, Justin. I'm doing great now that I'm on your show, getting to hear about how cool I sound to you. Oh, thank you. I'm a little embarrassed. I get shot easy, even though I can be really like in your face too. But you know, such an artist. Having me, man.
I always like I said, I'm really pleased to have you here. So I always like to start this process right at the beginning. So who was Von before he started writing?
I've been writing stuff and getting little awards here and there, like since I was a kid. Before I was a child of the 80s who just loved steep my soul in pop culture but also the music and the design and what the standards were for stories then. I grew up on the good 80s horror movie, the good 80s action movies, the testosterone fueled action stars of that era. And they're still great movies. I think they still inspire me, but that's who I was. I was a kid in love with art and story. And then I went to my first comic book shop and everything changed. That's when I became the storyteller Von, because I got a Ninja Turtle comic book and my mind blew up. And I started drawing and writing comics, and that was it.
So what or who were your influences growing up then? Because obviously you said the movies of the 80s. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s as well, and I happily go back to those movies whenever the hell I feel like it. As an example, at the time of this show, I watched Predator last night.
Great movie. Just fucking fun. Like, I'll have to watch that a couple times a year, probably, just to survive it. So I grew up, the ones that hit me the hardest, there's so many. I'll just try to name some off the top of my head. I won't capture them all because I love the comedies and I love the John Hughes, but I also I'm a RoboCop fan. I'm a Terminator fan. I'm a Predator guy. I loved Aliens. Aliens blew my mind to see that as a young kid. Those Space Marines, absolutely incredible movie. Still holds up. Still a fantastic movie. So many of those movies where special effects were coming alive, and you'd always see all this footage of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas saying, we're trying to capture the magic. I was growing up in a magical time. I love all the 80s horror stuff. I pretty much love almost all of it. Almost all of it. It's just great to me. I grew up with Elvira introducing me to cool new horror movies. My parents raised me on the Universal monsters, which was really cool of them because those were their movies, when they were a kid. Passing the torch, have me paint those monster models, which I still have today. So it really all influenced the hell out of me, and I became this Von that was making comic books and stapling them together and coloring them. I'm 8 years old. A lot of comic book creators start off that way, actually. For me, what I thought was interesting was when I was only in first grade, it'd be me and another table of outcasts, right? And the way we bonded was we would draw. And we would try to draw something cooler than the other guy. The other guy would have a motorcycle with spikes on the tires. Mine would have spikes on the tires, but machine gun turrets on the front, maybe a flamethrower. And so we're competing, but we're having fun doing it. We're outdoing each other. And then it's who can make the coolest thing? And then I realized, even as a writer now in my 40s, I'm that's still what it is. Making comics the way I do and the way I see it and feel my way through it is I'm trying to make something cooler than everyone else out there. It's our little secret competition. Who makes the coolest book wins in my book. If you can't make anything cool, good luck. Good luck, man. It's a competition.
So you said you just went into a comic shop and started collecting comics. Do you remember what year that was?
I don't remember the exact year. Comic shops must have been fairly new. 1980. I might have been like 7 years old, which would have been 1986. I mean, think of it this way: the new Ninja Turtles had just come out, black and white indie book. That was an indie book, so amazing.
Yeah.
And that nobody believed in enough to make the movie, like none of the big studios. And thank God they didn't believe in it, because then we got the great first movie that we got, an independent film. People forget that's an independent movie. Amazing. Anyway, but those were great times with the Turtles. So I might have been 1986. Might have been.
So,
Robin had just died.
Joker I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then The Dark Knight Returns came out. It was on. It was the big poster I'd see as a little kid when I'd walk in and be like, "Whoa, what the hell's that? That looks awesome."
So, what ones did you collect? I mean, I assume Turtles, but what else?
Wolverine, Punisher, X-Men, New Mutants, X-Force, Excalibur, Silver Surfer. And then of course I was there for that Infinity Gauntlet stuff.
Yeah.
Who else did I collect? I collect the Goon to this day. What else? Wow, that was kind of my mainstays. I think I was a huge X-Men guy, and then Image came out, and I was like, number one, just going down the. I remember that day in the store, so pumped. It's like all my favorite artists got together and did their own thing. That's one of the things I thought was cool about Comicsgate too, is like these veteran artists got together, they're doing their own things, and they're making cool stuff that hopefully people will enjoy. But yeah, it was a good time.
So I always love to ask this of fellow comic collectors. What are some of the rare ones in your collection?
What do I have that's like weird and rare? I mean, some original Ninja Turtles, early numbered. Those beautiful black and white babies. They would change my life. They really did. What else is I hate to say this. I have to see the comic and go, oh yeah, this one's really rare. I don't sit around and think about like, I own this rare book, like, and which is something I totally get collectors do. Like, that's totally cool. My brain doesn't do that, if that makes sense. Like I'd have to go through, I mean, probably my old Ninja Turtle books that were original, when they first come out. And I have Ninja Turtle Archies that they came out with once they started turning them into like the pizza loving dudes for the cartoons, which was great also. That was amazing. The Ninja Turtles arcade game is still amazing. People love the co-op on that. That's one of those games where you can get the girl to play with you too. It's like on a date. It's like play. It's cool. So I don't know. I absolutely, it would have to be that. I can't think of anything else I have that's like super rare,
So, do you remember when you first started writing, and was it just comic book sort of strips mainly?
It was a very ambitious trilogy about these anthropomorphic characters. There's Pistol Possum and his gang. It's called Pistol Possum and Gang. And then there's Radical Rabbit. He's the knife thrower and the acrobatic. And then there's Danger Dog. He's the muscle with the shotgun. They're a tough team, and they fight. They wear bandanas around their eyes like the Ninja Turtles. That was the big inspiration. And I did 3 of them, colored them. It's a full arc. I did a full arc out of the gate. And they end up saving Pistol Possum by the end. Everyone's happy. The bad guy, I think, gets out of prison at the very end and escapes, so that way I could do more if I ever wanted to. So I was smart. I was thinking back then. But that's it. It was really, really cool. I didn't know what I was doing, but the passion was so intense. I remember I drew it on my knees with stacks of paper on bed. So no desk, no getting myself ready to draw like professionals do. I was just a kid, just had to get it out, and it turned into 3 comics. And I Xeroxed them and then colored them and tried to like mass produce, I tried to really do it. That's what I knew. I was kind of a comic maker. Did I try to be a comic maker in life? No, I tried to be everything else. I tried to do screenwriting and film and directing. I tried design. I tried being a blue collar worker in a factory. And what if I like that life? What if I like just a basic, life like that? Good pay, go home, life's good, make art. That didn't work out too great. But I've done a lot of different crazy jobs. I've been a security guard for rock clubs. I've been, what else? I've been like a fine tea house manager. I've been all these different like things that conflict, but all the time I was making comics in the background because I have that compulsion. I love doing it. I love comics.
So, did you have any literary influences growing up? Any other writers that really had an impact on you?
Ray Bradbury. That man he makes a sentence sing and in your mind and your imagination burst with just words. That guy's a wizard, man. He was a big influence. I just remember having to read everything he wrote as a kid. I was
the Martian
obsessed.
Chronicles.
Yes, I love the Martian Chronicles, dude. I need to reread that. That is so well. It's just, guys, if you want to read sci-fi that blows your mind while being beautifully written in a way that just astounds, Bradbury will remind you that you need to be a better writer. Like, he's great. I also liked, who else did I read growing up? Let me just look at my shelf now. There's some other cool, like just some of the older. I went back to a lot of the classics, like your Dracula and your Frankenstein. I have like all the old classic horror books. That was an influence on me. My mom got me really scared of horror stuff. We went to the library. We checked out all the creepiest books we could, which it's weird. If you buy the book, it's one thing, but if you go to the library as a kid and get it, there's this mysticism to it, never ending story kind of shit going on. And so my mom and I were like reading through these books and she's reading them to me and she's scaring me, right? She's reading these horrific tales of ghosts and the macabre. And that stuck with me. And it influences my work to this day, I would have to say. So that's an influence. All that creepy shit that we pretend is just for kids, but it's really just to scare the shit out of us. It's great. I loved it. I loved all the stories. I learned a lot of cool American folklore from that and got into that. I'm into like a lot of American folklore and hauntings and stuff, even though I don't believe in any of it until it happens to me, baby.
I always remember I used to go over to my grandmother's house during these school breaks, and she'd put on movies for me and my brother to watch a lot of times so she could sleep because she lived with my auntie as well, I should point out. And one of the films she put on was John Carpenter's The Fog. And there's that, and there's that great scene. There's a great scene, obviously, the beginning where they come and stab and kill the crew aboard that boat. And I didn't know what was coming. And I always remember sitting there going, and Gran said to me at one point, "You're all right, love. Did you enjoy that?" And I'll go, So that's always one funny memory I have of those times, because Gran and me, they would get me a lot, and my brother, a lot of films to watch, a lot of VHS cassettes, ninja movies and stuff like that. Never cared that they were 18 rated films or whatever, just to keep us quiet. And I suppose that's where a lot of my influence came from myself, from those old school 80s horror and sci-fi movies, because there was something just so pure about them. But
yes, the imagination and the passion behind them and the fun of them and the great visuals.
Yes, but also
awesome.
I'll ask you this question before we get into the next bit. But to me, it seems like, compared to movies coming out now, there was more soul put into those 80s and 90s movies. And a lot of this stuff comes out now, especially some of the, I'll be honest, shit that comes out. There's no soul there.
What did we lose along the way? When I started school in 2007, my teacher said, our movies here at this school don't make it into any film festivals or win any awards or even make it into festivals. And he said, they look great. They're filmed great. They appear competent, but then people talk and the story comes out and there's no story. No one knows what they're doing. I was like, holy shit, we're forgetting as a culture how to tell a story. And that's to me a very valuable thing. And so I when I make my stuff, I look back at that 80s stuff and I go, even when it was bad, it still had a coherent story that you could follow for the most part, right? There's some really bad ones out there that are nonsense, of course, but like, and those are outliers. In general, you felt like even the B movie had a standard. And so for people like us who grew up on that, it's like watching there be zero standard, watching so much be last night, I was watching something my nieces and nephews watch. And it's like, what are kids watching these days? And everything was like, there's some kids in a forest and they run into some wolves, but they're live action kids, but the wolves are just like really goofy, bubbly CGI. And their campfire was CGI. They were CGI all these weird random things that looked really bad, maybe on purpose, but it was just bizarre. I was just like, okay, I guess in our day it would have been like an animatronic, like badass fucking wolf, like coming at him with glowing green eyes, like never ending story shit. Would have been great. But no, it's just like these cartoon wolves that were probably like a stock animation thing that they didn't have to even build. They just grabbed it from like some folder somewhere and plopped them in. It's really weird. It's weird to watch. It's weird filmmaking. But if we don't have a standard for story, I feel like we lost part of our soul. I know that sounds like dramatic, but
no. It's I agree with you, but also I think the main problem, and you can perhaps attribute this to comics, movies, games, whatever you want. I think the main problem is the wrong people got involved.
Yeah, the wrong intentions.
We could go all day on this, but I mean, for example, some of the Marvel comics that I saw coming out, the art was dreadful. And you see the writers in particular, this is where I focused on, you know, they'd hire like YA writers that have got one book to their name and said, here you go, it's a comic series. And most of the time it was crap.
Yeah.
Which I think drove a lot of people away.
They decided to roll the dice on the experiment of, will YA novels sell really well? And we're trying to feminize everything in general because that somehow makes society more equal, which it really doesn't. And this will let the YA people give their shot. And of course, they all come in and did their feminine version. I've read some of these. I've reviewed some of these over the years. They did this feminized version that women don't want and men don't want. Nobody wants it. Nobody's lining up at shops for it. The reader base is men. They leave. We're always looking for an excuse to just leave a book, I swear. And they didn't care about that anymore. They were more worried about, that's why feminism freaks me out so much, is how pervasive it is. Like, what, like, how did you get into my comics with this bullshit idea that we need to hire YA authors? That's laughable. That's a laughable idea. But, YA novels are not comics. They're a different craft. You might as well be hiring like a plumber to be, you know, a chef. It's not how it works.
So that being said, then we come to the first of your works to be discussed, and that is, of course, Monster MD. Now, I've said in the introduction that you hold the award for my favorite crowdfunded book, and it's this.
Thank you.
It's a great read, and it's a very well presented graphic novel, especially the cover. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on the light when I move it, how the cover is presented, especially with the logo. There you go, with the logo and the characters. But a
little bit of spot glass.
Yeah, but this was not only a great read, but you had a killer artist in Marco. I'm pronouncing his name right. You say it, please.
Makani.
Thank you.
It's Makani.
Yeah, of course, Zombie
Italian,
Town, which itself is a great book. But
cool. You like Zombie Town? Cool.
Oh yeah. So tell me how this project came to be, because obviously, as Indiegogo shows, and I hate this design of the site now, you had a $3,000 goal, but you made just over $53,000 on this, over 1,000 backers, and you reached your goal within an hour and 25 minutes. Now, as an indie creator, because I'm guessing that was your first crowdfunding project, that had to feel good.
It changed my life. And the 53,000 was just from when we closed. After that, we built it up to over 100K before we closed out, which was life-changing. It made me realize I can do what I love for a living after being, here's how it came to be. I was working on comics in Chicago while trying to get like a job and working as a security guard and having a harder life. But maybe I needed to get my ass kicked a little bit by life. But I remember having a girlfriend then who told me that I was wasting my time and money making comics. And she was really nasty and discouraging about it. And I just kind of ignored her and started making this Monster MD. But it wasn't with my artist for this book. It was with a different artist who was not as good. And this guy was from, I think, Brazil. And he became he kind of flipped on me at the end and treated me really bad and accused me of all these nasty things. And it was very bad. And he did not even turn in the last 5 pages, or they were like scriggly do's or something. He kind of gave me a big FU and then gave me a lecture and kind of bowed out, took the money and ran. And he demanded that I pay him up front. That was the thing that felt so weird about it, was he said, pay me up front for these last pages, and then turned in squiggles and then said F you and ran. So I was like at this point in my life then where things weren't great. And I remember thinking, I can't even do this great idea with Monster MD. Like, this guy should have known, I thought he was happy the whole time. Then he freaks out at the end. Screwed me over pretty bad. I was thinking about quitting comics. Straight up. Like, I was fed up with people. I was fed up with getting fucked over. I think the colorist on Kataru Witch Hunter also like bowed out on the last few pages and just never talked to me again, wouldn't ever contact me. That was really crazy. But, something happened. I went on Facebook and I saw Monica McCagney's art, and I went for Zombie Tramp and all kinds of other things. And the mixture of cuteness with monstrous, the mixture of comedy with brutality and darkness, I fell in love with it. It was like it's animated in a way, like the way people describe it, but there's more detail to it than that. There's a real beauty to it. There's a little bit of a manga influence to it. It's just all stuff I liked. And I thought to myself, if I'm going to give this artist a test. So I gave Monica a test, and it was draw this, and the drawing came out perfect. My colorist colored it. It was perfect. And I was like, with this, I could have a hit comic book. Like, I knew right then and there that this version of Monster MD could work. So I had to make the big decision, right? Yeah. Redo the entire book with a new artist. And I did. I mean, the art made it easy for me because look at how great it came out. Like, this was... So I'd already tried to finish this book before, guys. It's a very different book. The way that guy drew it was all morose and boring and like kind of sad and kind of grimy. Very different art style too, to be fair. But he was just not that... He wasn't really that great of an artist in the end. What we got here was the magic that I was looking for. So the art got me back on board with my own project and making comics again. And then I come back. I did not quit. And we make over 100K. And I've got cool fans like you now. Like, that's what I want. This is the dream. So
I imagine it was also nice when it reached fulfillment, sending those books out. I'm guessing with a daily basis, given how many backers you had.
Yeah, it was rough, dude. The heaviness of those books and how many things people ordered. It was so fun. And I had a lot to learn. I'd never done this before. I had to sign 1 million books. But you know what? It was worth it. The feeling of getting them out and getting them to the post office. It's exhilarating, really. When people get their books and they're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing, because one of the books I backed was Mary Boys. And
I love that book.
Yeah, and I remember, I think it was Carl's wife who posted the picture of their living room just full of books to go out. By the way, if you can see it over my shoulder, that's a Mary Boys page in the frame over there. But I imagine it's such a weird thing being an independent creator, just having your home full of books you've got to get out and thinking this is like climbing a mountain.
Yeah. I have a little bit of help, but not much. A lot of it I do on my own, and it's become this thing where I figured out how to do it well. I've got my TV on. I've got good 80s movies rolling. I've got and then I've got all my stuff stacked next to me, and I've got low noise tape on a low noise roller. That's the secret. So you don't hear that all day, which you'll hear in your sleep. It'll haunt you and torment you. Just get the low noise tape on the low noise roller, baby. I'm really sound sensitive, so I need that shit.
Were you exhausted when the last of those books went out?
Yeah, man. I was like, I don't know if I ever want to do this again. But I was like, well, I can make my books a little smaller, because this was that book where I was insane, and I was like, I'll just add more to it. How about another? But I learned a lot of lessons from.
Well, I mean, that was one of the things I appreciated about the book, because it was a complete story.
Yeah.
From start to finish, no cliffhanger, because that's one thing that's annoyed me about crowdfunded books, because you have to wait years for the next one. So I was grateful for the fact that it was a singular story, but it has some great moments in it too. I mean, I'll try to avoid spoilers for the audience at home, but my favorite moment, and I, along with my friend who I backed a copy for, I call this the Event Horizon moment, where again, not going into spoilers, where the Doc looks up at the altered, let's call it, statue, and goes, "We're leaving." And I just thought, oh, I love this, because it's because sometimes it's the quiet, more dramatic moments in a story that catch my attention more, and that was certainly one of them.
Man, I've never heard someone point that scene out before, but the way you have, and the way it hit you, that really makes me happy. It means I hit the mark.
I go into more detail, but I don't want to spoil it for people. But it's kind of the moment where he realizes just how much shit he's in. So yeah, I won't do any more, but obviously you know the scene I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there was so much I got to do with that book that made me happy. So many good jokes, so many good moments, and the small moments are, you're right, there's some small moments that are bigger moments that I really think people, I think that's why this book, to this day, I run into people at cons who recognize me and are like, Monster MD, baby, Monster MD. Now I feel like the biggest asshole in the world for not doing 2 right away. But Monica and I, after Monster MD, agreed we could tell the best Black Terror story ever told. So we were trying to do Terror in the Trenches, and then get on with some more Monster MD, which that's our big plan.
As you've said that, it's a great segue, of course, into Terror in the Trenches.
All right.
Slightly different tone to Monster MD, but 65,000 just over raised of again $3,000 goal. You reached your goal in just under 10 minutes, which again is brilliant. Just shy of 1,000 backers.
Wow.
And of course, I got my copy, and again, lovely cover, especially the foil logo, because because I grew up collecting comics, I always loved foil covers. So this, to me, I loved it. And yes, it's a cliffhanger ending, but I didn't mind this in the slightest. I didn't mind this in the slightest, because it was a damn good story. So how did this one come to pass? Because let's see, going into the credits here, Monica McCartney, again. So you obviously had something good going with the artist. What was the origin of this?
After Monster MD, I guess I had a breakup, and I was scouring the internet for things on old school heroes, and I remember taking a look at Black Terror. It hit me that I'd seen him before, but I never really knew anything about him. And I thought, why is a character that potentially looks so cool not cool? And then late into the night, ideas started to happen. Actually, before that, I actually read some Black Terror, and I read some recent Black Terrors that were being done by what's his name? Is it I forgot the guy's name, but he's like a lead singer of some band, and he got into comic books by saying he's like mentally ill, so you better hire him to like tell you. I don't know. It was weird marketing for himself. But he was writing the most random bullshit Black Terror I've ever read. Like there's nothing cool about him. And I was like, okay, well, this is a disgrace. Like nobody knows how to make this guy cool, but I do. So late into the night, I'm listening to a bunch of heavy metal and thinking about what my Black Terror could be. And I realized I've been wanting to tell a story for a long time about a superhero whose entire neighborhood gets kind of nuked. And then he's kind of coming out of the ashes and running through these trenches of what, was his neighborhood. The streets are now trenches. And kind of coming for his revenge, the classic revenge take. So I thought that was cool if he would be a hero who also has a past fighting in the trenches of World War II. And then his neighborhood being in trenches would take him back to that era, was the whole concept. And then Black Terror just perfectly fit into that concept. I was like, this could be the vehicle to make him so fucking cool. Instead of a pirate, whatever, man, like he's a trench warrior who has kind of a toxin coming off of his breath that gives people makes him look like their worst nightmares. So he's like the scarecrow. Hence the name Black Terror. He doesn't have that power normally, so I changed his powers a little bit, but he's also durable and strong, uses blades, but they're trench knives, not that weird pirate sword thing that didn't make any sense to me. I never could make sense of him, so I figured like taking him back to his roots and making him more World War II would just make him cool, and people seem to love it. It really resonates with them. And we agreed before we did this, Monica and I, we were going to tell the best Black Terror story ever told. That's going to make people go crazy. So book 2 was about to launch, but then Indiegogo redid its site recently. So I'm kind of holding back, I got to have to figure it out again. It's kind of interesting. What I've seen so far is kind of intimidating me, but I'm sure I'll get into it, figure it out. But yeah, Black Terror his neighborhood's nuked. He is in the trenches of what was his hood, and he comes to find a lot of fucking people from his past are showing up, and the story of his past and his past mistakes coming back to haunt him is prevalent throughout of this. He's gonna learn a lot. He's also haunted by the ghost of his wife, and you're gonna find out more and more about why as this plays out. So it's just this really cool haunted hero revenge story about a guy whose damage he does comes back to haunt him, and he's got to deal with that. I hope people love it, man. I hope people get into it. Book 2 is amazing. I can't wait to put that out. I really hope people will come support it because, damn, it's some of my best writing. It's Black Terror like you've never seen him. It's just more brutal than ever. So,
I mean, I'm looking at the credits of it, and obviously Black Terror is another person's character.
Yeah.
So how did you get the rights to do this? Was there a process for it, or is he in public domain? I'm not sure how it works.
He's public domain. And as long as I don't put the words Black Terror on the cover, I should be good with Dynamite, who does that. They use him. I think it's Dynamite. So I think that was all, when I looked up stuff on it, that's all I found. You're allowed to use him. Of course, give credit to the original creators. And just make sure your title doesn't have Black Terror in it. You should be good to go. I've seen other crowdfunders where people used Black Terror in their stories.
I see. Well,
it was a risk.
I know. I loved it. I mean, especially where he sort of pops the canisters and then goes off on his breeze. Yeah, I love that shit. Yeah.
Battle poppers. Yeah, he has to keep... See, in the original book, he got gassed by some ethers or something, mystic ethers, and he became strong and durable, real simple. And this, I'm like, he has to keep using it, or else his strength and durability goes away. It's like a popper, but also it's toxic, and it hurts him over time to use this, And when he breathes out, if he tries to hug his wife after work and he breathes out, like she'll see him as what she fears most. Like there's cost to using this power, It's got to have its cost. It's got to kind of loom over him, literal nightmare fuel. So,
I like it. So then your next one was, of course, Kataru Witch Hunter.
Oh, wow.
Now, smaller project than before,
Yeah.
Raised 10,000, well, almost 11,000 on a $500 goal. Again, reached very quickly, 15 minutes this time. But this was quite a shift from you, because you got a different artist. I'm just getting my copy here, because yep, there you are. Now you got a different artist in Felix Navarra, if I'm saying that right.
Yes.
I hope I am.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, one thing I noticed in the credits of this is that you assisted on the colors.
Yes.
And also, you assisted on the inks and the letters. So not only are you a writer now, you're a colorist, you're a letterer, and you're an inker. So
I'm exhausted.
Tell me how that come about.
This comic book was made with a lot of love and a lot of grinding, where I had to. Here's how I made it. I was just some broke ass security guard in Chicago, and I wanted to make this story. Felix was on board. I thought he was a pretty sweet artist. So he would send me the pencils, and I would go to FedEx Kinko's and print them off on a big piece of paper that was totally not thick enough to do inks on. And then I would print off all the pencils, put them under my jacket, walk home in the snow of Chicago, and sit down, put them on my like board thing, and hold while watching like movies, and sit on the couch and inked every page on some of the shittiest paper ever, and it made it harder to do that shitty paper. You had to make sure you didn't go through it and tear a hole through it by accident, because it's the wrong paper. You're not doing it right. But that was all I could do. I don't think they had thick 11 by 17 or whatever paper. So I do it for the love of it. I do it for the grind of it. I find a really good colorist for this. Like I said, she bailed for the last few pages. I ended up coming in and coloring a lot of stuff. Also, my awesome colorist from Monster MD did a few of the final pages and saved us. It looked great. But I did a lot of like touch-up coloring throughout the whole book to give it the perfect look. So this was just made out of love. This was the book that my ex told me I should stop making comics. And I need to move on from that. It's kind of a stupid hobby.
Why should your ex?
Exactly. Well, one of many reasons, yes. And now this book is winning best book of the year. You know,
about to get to.
I think we made $25K off of this book at the end. The purple thing on Indiegogo shows you, I think, what you made after your first like few months, like your 2 months on there. So we actually made some money off of it. It made less, but I just didn't mind, because it didn't cost me anything to make. I already had this book I did fix up the lettering myself. I did all the stuff to polish it before it came out that I think really helped make it that much better of a book. But I knew it'd be a smaller book. It's cool. It's a great book. I think people hopefully dig it.
It's interesting for me on a personal level, because this date here, my birthday is actually on the 24th of October. So you funded it one day after my birthday that year.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's nice. I've only just noticed that, so that's really cool to see. But as you pointed it out, we'll have to obviously talk about it. The book won 2 awards at the Heroic Awards. So first of all, best color, which must be satisfying to you on a personal level. But scrolling down, comic book of the year.
How did I do it?
Now I'm going to repeat my question from earlier and ask, that's got to feel good.
Yes, sir. It feels damn good. It feels more than just good. I mean, the book is good. It just feels validating, like that this is not just in my head a good book. This is a book that people love. The guy who runs these awards he said he reads like 2 to 4 graphic novels a week and just tears through them. He's just upset. He loves comics so much. Really great guy. Really love what he's doing with these awards. He's helping indie guys get some attention and compete in an interesting, little more of a fair field, battlefield or whatever. So I really respectful to him for that. I was overwhelmed. I was there, and he didn't expect me to be at the awards ceremony. So I was like, hi. And he's like, what? Get up here, dude. You know, and I had to give a speech looking like a fucking idiot. I felt I was not ready. I was not ready. I don't expect win things, but the fact this one tells me that I knew that I did put out a really good story here, that people should give Kitaru a chance. It's an excellent, fun read. It's a full story. Just one of his many adventures, which I think people like and are satisfied with. You got a little short story after that. And yeah, I don't know. Kitaru is a character I've had in my mind for so long. He's the kind of classic Japanese swordsman / detective, and fighting in this dark mystical realm of haunted Japan against demons and witches and horrifying things. And he's the hero that goes from town to town and fixes things and then leaves. He's the vagabond. So to me, that's cool. He's a cool hero.
Well, I admired it because it's your third work that I've backed, and you've told 3 completely different stories. So no one can say you're a one-trick pony because you've shown that you can do different things, and I admire that.
I appreciate that. I never even thought of it that way. I just do and try to make it cool. And if I've got that versatility, I mean, people should hire me more to write their stuff, and people have. I've written some really cool books for some really cool properties and cool people. So over the years, I've been lucky. But yeah, I can do it, man. I like everything as a challenge, even if it's a different genre. I wrote like a Russian murder mystery recently, comic book. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Now I'm doing like a comic strip for like a web strip where we've got a crazy detective. So I've never written anything like that, and I'm going to do that. See how it works out. So yeah, I've got a lot I want to do, Justin. And it's all kick-ass. I'm going to make sure it's kick-ass. That's how I roll. That's my style. It's not about the glory or the money as much for me.
Well, it's good art. Sort of ended up in you having your own web store. And I love the way this is set out because, well, here they are, your books.
Yeah.
Variant covers, the posters, the character prints, the sketchbook, which I think is a cool idea. And you've got these bits as well, and of course there's your limited supply gas vial. I really want to get my hands on one of these, but it was a point where I kept just having no bloody money when I wanted it. But I love the way this is set up, man. I mean, how'd you come up with this?
I decided I would use Wix, because I felt I'd used it at a job before and learned a little bit about its layouts and how it works and how you can make it, do cool things with it and stuff. So I knew a little bit about Wix, but then I did hire a guy. Well, I came up with like the layout and like sketched it and picked fonts. It's like all me and my design and you know what I mean? But then I hired a guy to kind of make it happen, do the web design part with the set layouts of the pages so that someone could do that for me. So I did the Fiverr thing, which is Fiverr's great. Like that was not expensive at all for what I got. And this guy does it all the time. So just like second nature to him, that's like what he does, So it was a pretty smooth process making it. I just had to keep going, like, let's use this font. Let's use this. Let's do, until it was picked. And then ever since he turned the keys back over to me, I've been the one kind of maintaining and changing and designing things. And it's been going great. Like it's pretty easy to use. So highly recommended. Yeah, I just told him everything I wanted. I wanted this big banner thing and I could put different images there and or videos, and that worked. Everything I wanted, he could do really easily. It was pretty great, actually. Usually making a website for me over the years and other people and other sites has been fucking hell. That's always a problem. That one came out great.
So, a bit of a selfish question from me here, but obviously you've written comics and graphic novels. Do you ever think there'll be a novel in you at all?
Yes, I know there will be, because there's some folders with some things in them, a little bit of scraping, and I've even done a few ideas for the cover of the book. That I'm such a graphic design junkie that I make covers for books I haven't even written yet. And that cover becomes, in essence, a goal by which I'm like, we'll make the book so you can see the cover on the book and have it be a real book, and then someone can enjoy the book, damn it. So I have a couple novel ideas in the works. They are horror-based novels. And I'm realizing as I come up with more for them and what I want to happen, that writing a novel, I can do it, but it's also its own craft that you have to be really into and understand. And I'm like, still need to get into that. I'm kind of intimidated by it, I will admit, but I'm sure once I get into it, I can make it flow and make it awesome. But I want to do a horror novel about, you know how we have organ and flesh printers, like we have bio printers.
Yeah.
I want to tell a sci-fi story where we have the most advanced bioprinters ever and we're testing it on like new patients. And then one night the bioprinters start printing things from another world. Like I want to tell a really horrific body horror, demonic, like other worlds creeping into our world story, you know? And I want these creatures to, these otherworldly or haunted ghostly creatures, whatever they will be, I'm still developing, to print themselves into existence in our world. I think that could be so creepy and cool.
That sounds like a killer book. I can't wait to see it. I hope you do it soon. But what's next for you, dude? Because obviously I assume Terror in the Trenches #2's on the way.
Yes, sir. Terror in the Trenches 2 is the last few pages I wanted Monica to get done have gotten turned into me. I want to get those colored, and I want to make a trailer, and I want to figure out Indiegogo, and I want to launch that sucker. So stay tuned. I will drop you guys the hard date once we get one. But I also have another comic kind of locked and loaded, and I really want to launch this too. But I want to give people their trenches. They've waited long enough. But I really want to do Rerun Man. Rerun Man, the story of a Hollywood actor who gets. Well, let me hold on. I'm grabbing you guys some images so I can show you some things, if that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
Let's see what I can share here.
Oh, hello. Oh, doggy in the background.
Yeah. So Rerun Man is. Sorry, I think my dog's barking. 1 second.
Down boy. This has never happened on a stream before, but there was always a first for it, I suppose.
I broke that dog barrier. So, Rerun Man. This is the story of a. There, can you still hear him? Yeah.
Yeah, I can still hear him. It's all good. It's all good.
He's such a guardian, you know. He loves to guard stuff.
Oh, I love the look of this.
Okay, sorry about that. Someone dropped something off, I guess, on the patio, and so he's freaking. So essentially, Rerun Man is the story of a fallen from grace ex-child star who's now grown up, multiple divorces, in and out of rehab, getting fired off the shitty B movies he works on. Everything's gone to shit, but he has a chance to revive his career from the dead with this big, straight, kind of strange. Turns out she's a witch, and instead of giving him his big career comeback, she turns him into a special kind of regenerating zombie that she and her friend can torture and have fun with years on end. They fake his death. Nobody cares. He's an ex-child star. They die ODs all the time. It's like one day of headlines, and then people move on. And they use him for about 20 years until, through his rage and through the vengeance that he wants to take on these people, you know, all the elites and their creepiness and the creepy things they're into. He wants to destroy that so bad that his soul kind of wakes up in this zombie realm where there's a zombie queen, and she makes a deal. They kind of make a deal, and she decides to wake him up out of his zombie trance. And so we now have a regenerating. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You broke up a bit there, but I got most of it. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So I can hear you.
Can you hear
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! It's okay. It's okay. You're still there. You're still there. Just kill the share of the screen.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
He regenerating zombie coming back. Cool.
Yeah.
We catch up. Like,
yeah, I can hear.
Okay, cool. So we now have a angry, vengeful, regenerating zombie.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Try turn your camera off.
Rerun Man is my Ray and Elites that have made life so difficult for us normal folks. He is a regenerating, vengeful zombie. Come revenge on all of the bad people.
Mm-hmm. Oh dear. Well, that's a first for the show. Let's see if I can get him back in. Right. Yeah, you're back.
Hello. Okay.
Right.
We were having a time shift.
Yeah, it's a technical difficulties on the show for the first, but never mind.
Sorry,
so,
buddy.
Yeah, to carry on with your story because I got most of it, but then you cut off.
All right. Well, it's essentially the story of a fallen actor come back as a regenerating zombie to get revenge on all the elites who tortured him all those years. And it's funny, it's dark, it's violent, it's action. In a weird way, he's a failed actor. He tried to action star, but as Rerun Man, because he's like, he keeps coming back. He's getting to live a real action movie now.
Okay.
He's getting to like kill himself over and over again in car crashes, getting blown away by bullets and bad guys, and then he regenerates, he comes after you. However, if his head comes off, guy will die, who will turn to dust, he will go back to the zombie realm. And so he's hoping he can do as much damage as possible before that happens. But in a way, he becomes a cool dark hero for our generation that's fed up with Hollywood, the elites, and all their bullshit and all of their occultism and evil. So he becomes the kind of the dark zombie hero, like who fights the darkness. And I don't know, in a way, all my rage and anger back then at Hollywood kind of became this character. So I'm really excited about it. It's really stylish. It's a really cool book. I wish I could show you guys more images of it, but that's okay. We had kind of technical things happen last time.
That's okay.
My internet is so weird sometimes. I apologize. But it's basically my next big character. I think people are going to really love. You guys are going to go crazy for it. It's got all the elements. He has the ex-voodoo priest mentor, Dr. Ziggy Stein, who's a blind shopkeeper who also happens to be a swordsman, a blind swordsman badass. He'll flip your hand off of your body before you're going on. So he's like there to kind of be his Mr. Miyagi / Obi-Wan, and he's funny. He's great. You're just gonna love him. You're gonna love him. So our hero ends up having to kind of make a home base in the basement of his little voodoo shop, where he sells trinkets and healings and all this stuff with voodoo stuff, even though he's not like the full voodoo priest anymore. He's kind of the ex, you know what I mean? But he'll help teach him about zombies. So I'm doing the more voodoo zombie thing with this too, which I'm having fun with. That's like how they used to do zombies. Marrow turned it into Night of the Living Dead, which I love those zombies. In the old days, it was like movies about like people who were just hypnotized and in a zombie-like state. You know what I mean? So,
all right. So I always like to end these streams with the Pivo questionnaire, which is my little nod to Inside the Actor Studio and the late great James Lipton. So, Von, what is your favorite word?
Probably cunt. I'm just kidding. It's such a nice word. It's so powerful. It has such an effect on people.
Yeah.
What used to be my favorite word? Probably maybe the word obscure. I don't know. Okay. It changes over the years. I like the word obscure. I like it for some reason. And I couldn't even tell you why. I'm sorry. I totally biffed that one.
So what is your least favorite word?
What word always just gets me, man? I mean, I don't probably everyone says moist, right?
Yeah.
I love that word now. I love it now. My least favorite word, I don't know. Yeast?
Okay.
Yeast? What a weird word. Weird to say, ugly to hear, smells come to mind. It's just yeasty. She's yeasty. Okay. You know, it's just it's not good. It's not a good word.
Okay.
No obscure yeasts. Okay.
No. Okay. What turns you on?
Oh man, visuals. Stunning, good design, good storytelling, soulful, like powerful visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Horror, good pop culture and horror, and really good loud music. Really loud music.
What turns you off?
People causing trouble and then confronted with that trouble, lying about it to get out of it, which causes more trouble. Like the trouble upon the trouble. And they do the trouble, and then there's more shit to deal with, and these people can't stop. Like I guess what turns me off is fucking villainy and liars and people who make the world more complex for other people when it doesn't have to be. Bad art. Oh, like what's the point? You know?
Yeah.
Soulless storytelling.
Yeah.
We're talking about it.
Yeah.
It's a problem. It freaks me out. It turns me off. I don't know. When it comes to I guess bad tattoos on women too. Like, what the hell?
Okay. Turn off. I think you probably already answered this next one, but what is your favorite curse word?
I like cunt.
Yeah, there we go. He's always said that one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's power. It's power that you wouldn't have if people didn't take it that way, but they do so often. So it's power, you know. Call a woman that, see what happens. I dare you. No. Big trouble.
What sound or noise do you like?
I like the sound of this is so cliche, but it's the truth. I like the sound of rain hitting my windows while I'm writing outside. And there's something to it. And there's something to the sound of when I'm in bed at night and I hear my cat's little paws like coming because he wants to come hang out, you know, and stay warm. So like that's a nice, that's a nice sound. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are good ones, man. It's nice.
What sound or noise do you hate?
So what's been my pet peeve recently? It's in almost every trailer, and it's become a fad that needs to die immediately. Is it's just sound designers being idiots, but the sound of when you are losing your hearing in an ear and you hear the wee, and that's the last time you're hearing that frequency. Yeah. And that sound fucks me up mentally for the rest of the day. Like, I know we all have to deal with it and move on with it, and it just happens. But like, I hear it, you hear it enough, and you're like, "Am I going deaf?" Like, is it? And you hear all these wee, that high pitched wee. Well, now in every trailer, it's like even if there's not a scene where a grenade goes off near someone, they're like wee, like put in the wee, and put in the. And it used to be they dropped the bass or they did that like. Right, like in every trailer now it's moved on to the wee, like everyone's going deaf. You're going deaf. I don't want to feel like I'm going deaf watching your trailer. It irritates me so much to hear that sound. Whenever I would play rock clubs, I'm in bed at night, I can't sleep because my ears are just doing that all night. It drives me nuts. It's the worst sound.
So what profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
Ooh. I mean, I'm a comic book creator and I'm a comic book publisher, and I love those. What else would I like to be or do? I mean, I'd like to publish other people's books that I believe in, that I think would be great. But I don't know if I ever will. We'll just have to see. What's another thing I would love to just do for a living, to make money, or just because I love it? I don't know.
Well, I think you've given a perfectly good answer already. So
yeah. I want to publish other people's books and make something, put out like greatness, put out the next great stories, because we need them. Our souls are hungry. That would be cool. I mean, I already am a publisher, though. I just would love to find those next great artists that other people look over too often.
That's a great answer. I like.
You have to have a good eye for it. Okay, cool.
Right. So, what profession other than yours would you absolutely not like to attempt?
I can't work in a kitchen. Those people amaze me. They amaze me. They're a certain type of individual that thrives in a high pressure scenario that I would crumble in. You guys are amazing. They're all yelling at each other, and all the plates are slamming, and the steam, and like everything's coming. They're just like, that's wrong, right, wrong, no, right. Can I sit it out? Bring it back, sit it out. And I'm just like, how do they do? I see why Gordon Ramsay has the line after line on the forehead. His forehead is just nothing but one big line now. That's amazing to me. Those people, they could do something I can't. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it.
Fair enough. All right. So finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You did okay. You did all right for a white boy. I mean, I wouldn't mind a welcome, but he doesn't have to say that. I would probably feel welcome. You know what I mean? I'd like to know that. I mean, if I'm there, I obviously did a pretty good job. Shit, I would like to know that I made him laugh. That would be cool. I don't know.
I like it. All right, so for the folks watching this stream, you can catch Vonster on Twitter, and the link to his store is on his profile, where you can find all his work plus some goodies. Keep an eye on Indiegogo for when Terror in the Trenches 2 launches, along with his other works. Von, this has been great having you on, besides the little technical difficulty there. This has been a fun conversation, and I wish you all the best with your work going forward, and I guarantee you that when you launch something, I will be there.
It's people like you that keep me doing this, so I can't appreciate you more, Justin. And this was a really fun conversation, and you got me thinking about a lot of things, so I appreciate that. You're a good host. And I can't wait to hang out again sometime. So thank you for having me on.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, take care, and we'll see you on the next show. But